Hello, Leo. Welcome to your bonus reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. A Four of Cups. Four of Cups is good. It's okay, right? It's not spectacular, but it's not a sinking ship either, right? This is a stability. This is a comfort. This is a luxury. The key word for the card is luxury, but I kind of like to call it comfort, because sometimes that's what we want, that's what we need. We stay in our comfort zone. Sometimes we've had a difficult time and we just want to be comforted, right? By ourselves, by our lives, by our loved ones. Yeah. This is a card of kind of healing, restoring, regrouping, getting ready to go again. That's just it. We have to go again. Okay. We stay here too long and we get sort of, we get enamored by the comfort around us, and we just say, well, this is satisfying most of my sort of short-term desires, or this feels good right now in the moment, right? But we know that this is not progress. This is not leading us anywhere. This is not challenging us, right? This is the storm shelter that we go to for safety. We're not going to just live there forever. Eventually we're going to have to sort of, it's like all these movies, we're going to have to eventually go upstairs and see what the world looks like out there, sort of get back in the game in a way. So I feel right now you are, you're someone who I think is gearing up for a really big push. You're getting ready for, I think some really big changes in your life, but we need some context around this card to see how that's playing out, to see how we're getting out of our comfort zone a little bit, right? So let's use our Dove and Serpent spread. See, then we got that 8. We've got the 8 of Cups kind of doubling on our 4, right? Doubling down on the comfort there. But I think that what we're realizing with the 8 of Cups, that now it seems like the boat is slowly sinking. We don't really realize it's kind of a quicksand feeling. So I think that this is that part of us where we feel, oh, holy, you know what? I got to do something. I can't stay here forever. It's time. It's kind of like it's that realization when, you notice that the water level in your boat's starting to rise a little bit. And we're kind of getting lower, from the surface of the water. And yeah, it might be time to do something, start paddling, to make a plan, to take some steps, take some actions, get outside of that situation. Okay. So I think the 8 of Cups is sort of a good card in this case. Here's the 10 of Wands. There is the entire world. There, look at that. The judgment, rebirth, reawakening. It's a baptism by fire, right? We have that fire here to sort of, to push against this water energy, really, right? And in the future position, the art or temperance card. That's pretty nice too, because that is, first of all, good major arcana energy, right? Showing this sort of upward arrow, this upright triangle, right? A triangle of fire, a triangle of spiritual ascent, okay, going up this way. So we've got that very nice configuration. It is fueled by this fire energy, right? And it really is sort of, it's prompted by the water energy. It's the water energy right here in the core that kind of gives you the impulse to light this flame, light this fire, sort of power up the rockets, And here, of course, the art card is the challenge. It is putting ourselves in a pressure cooker. Why? Well, so we can become more of a diamond, right? So we can refine ourselves. Yeah. So I think you're getting ready for a really big push into a really kind of intense, hot, high pressure situation, but you're doing so intentionally, right? Maybe you're starting a new job. Maybe you're saying, okay, I'm gonna start, working on my craft again. I'm gonna start getting out there and try to make some progress in your career or in your financial world or your health situation, or in terms of your relationships in any of those areas. Okay, trying to make that big push in your creative work or your business, right? Whatever your work is. And when I say work on this channel, I feel like I once in a while I need to make this clarification. I don't mean just the job you have or the career or what you do for money. That assumes everybody is between, let's say 18 and 60, right? But maybe you're at school. Maybe you're a teenager. Maybe you're retired. Maybe you're 120 years old. The work is whatever you are focusing your attention on, wherever you're pointing your fire energy, right? Your will, your attention, your consciousness, wherever that's going, whatever you're burning calories doing every day, okay? It could be anything. What I sense here is that you're ready to start doing it again. I think that it's been a little bit of a break, a slowdown, or an intentional kind of break from that work, to rest, restore, to recuperate, to recover, right? In this, to sort of heal or to be in this comfort zone for a minute, to sort of get ready to then, do it again. Now, if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments. Let's finish up with our cards. Let's put them all out on the table. We have a Knight of Swords. We have the Moon card, yeah. We have the High Priestess, very good, and the Fool. Whoa, okay. First of all, a lot of major arcana, right? A lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's over half the cards are major arcana cards. That doesn't usually happen, okay? With these two cards, I feel like this, your spirit, your energy is going through this fiery doorway, emerging on the other side as a pure spiritual being. In other words, you're leaving everything behind that is not serving you anymore. Okay? Maybe part of that 4, 8 of Cups. Maybe those are some things that, hey, those feel good. Those are very comforting things, but they're kind of holding me back. They're tempting me to kind of stay here in this comfort zone. It's like someone who doesn't want their bed to be too soft, because then they'll just sleep all day, right? So you have a really firm mattress that says, I can only do about 5 or 6 hours, and then I got to get up, So it's kind of like you're arranging your life in such a way where there's a lot more discipline, yeah. And there is not an overabundance of these comforts and pleasures that sort of make it difficult. It's kind of like, I like to keep my house very cold, right? And that could backfire, because it could be so cold I don't want to get out of bed. But if I do get out of bed and it's very cold, it gives me a little bit of energy, makes me kind of want to wake up and get moving and get warm and get awake, So you're setting up your life in such a way that it's going to help you be more disciplined, all right? So we're getting rid of a lot of these things that just, they may feel good. It may be presented to you as, here, you want this. You need this. Think of how good this is going to feel. Think of how much your life is going to be better if you have these things. And you're thinking, no, these are things I don't need to fall for that, right? We're looking for really a mastery of our own consciousness, to discipline ourselves, to realize, I don't need all of these other things to make my life more comfortable. What I need is to get up and go pursue this work that really does mean something to you, Anyway, let's select our mystery card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're going to set it down right here. We're going to put our octopus friend, the 8 of Tentacles, right there on top of that. We're not going to look at it until the end. It will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need. If you want to help me out, predict that card with me, leave something down in the comments, just a guess, a prediction, a hunch, whatever, right? We got to exercise the intuition, and that's indicated here in the cards with the High Priestess in the position of the obstacle right now, the difficulty for you. You've got to use your intuition and not listen to what anybody else is telling you. Okay. Now, as we look at the cards here, we do see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana energies. We have a little bit of fire, kind of a big glob of water right here, and we've got a little bit of air. Okay. What we don't see yet is the earth energy. And I think the earth energy is sort of missing right now because we haven't yet taken that step, made that move. We haven't yet jumped into the fire or jumped into this pressure cooker or started doing this work again in this very intense way. So I kind of feel like we've not really made any decisions yet. So well, let me rephrase that. I think that you're making the decisions, but we haven't yet implemented those choices. Okay? And that's kind of what we see here with your general energy with the Knight of Swords. It's a judgment, it's an evaluation, it's a decision. A judgment has been passed, justice has been served, and now it's just time to carry out the sentence, And I think that what that involves is you going through this fiery doorway where you do have to make some, what we might look at as sacrifices. But really, I just think it's trimming off things from our life that are just nonsense, holding us down anyway. Trying to have more discipline and trying to understand what is essential in the work that you're doing now. What is really necessary, right? What things do you have to let go of so that you can basically have an easier time doing the work that you really, truly want to do. Okay? If it's some sort of a spiritual practice, let's say you're trying to really have a morning routine and you're trying to meditate and exercise and you're trying to eat healthy and stuff, then maybe we do have to sort of trim off how much time we spend sleeping, right? Or we have to kind of cut back on how much ice cream we eat every day, right? That's my problem anyway. And I'm doing better at it, I got to tell you. I limit myself to kind of one day a week where I can have a little bit of ice cream, I can have a cookie, but the rest of the week it's discipline, right? Because there are goals that I'm trying to accomplish. It's not just about the goal, though, right? It's about this process that you're in of having that discipline and feeling so much better about life because I can control that now. You put ice cream in front of me, I can say no to it. It's not easy, but I can. But it feels good in that moment. The eating of the ice cream would feel good, sure. But it feels better to just say, to just be in control and say, I'm making the decision now. I'm not just letting my subconscious or biological sort of programming, right, just grab the ice cream and just devour it, right? It's all in my beard. It's a mess. So it feels good to be in that kind of control, all right? And I think that it really is this discipline that we're seeing with some of this fire energy and the major arcana going to lead to this freedom, going to lead to this Fool kind of coming out the other side. I think your life is changing forever. I think that it is, I think this is fortune and fame. Okay, and I think that the fortune is your ability to evaluate the things in your life now and make the right decisions that are going to lead to your freedom, that are going to feel, even in these moments, feel like freedom. Right? And how is that? Discipline equals freedom, right? I'm so disciplined with my eating. I try to do real low carbs. I do a lot of protein. And try not to do the sweets, sugar, So I'm really telling myself no a lot. Discipline. Saying, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to do that today. You offer me some ice cream, I'll say no. You offer me $1 million, I'll say no. Well, maybe not. It's in that kind of discipline that you feel that most free, right, with this Fool energy. And it's free to sort of, it's free to put your mind, your will, your heart, your soul, your spirit onto something and say, that's what I want to do, right? And then moment to moment, we're doing that. It feels good, right? It feels good. The fool needs the discipline, right? It feels good to have that sort of power over things and to say yes. Well, I could say yes to the ice cream, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait till Saturday, and that's going to be my ice cream day, you know. So that kind of discipline makes me, at least personally, feel like I have more personal power and thus more freedom. Because I can say something, you know, and in a relative way, for all intents and purposes, it will be. Okay? It's a skill that we're working on. We're trying to all become the greatest magicians that we can, right? So the Eight of Cups, I think, it's sort of like the Four of Cups is becoming a little bit too much. We're getting kind of smothered by the comfort here, you know? And it's kind of like you, at that point in a teenager's life where it's like we don't really want mom to take care of us so much anymore. And it's just kind of like, Mom, you're smothering me, you know? It's kind of like just the way we want to take care of our loved ones, the way we may protect our children. And we may want to do everything for them. And we may want to protect them from any kind of harm or even of any kind of difficulty, you know? I don't like seeing my daughter struggle. She's 4 years old. Breaks my heart when she struggles with something. You know, she's struggling to tie her shoe or to figure out how to open a particular package or something. And I want to just jump in and do it for her, you know. But her struggling and figuring out how to do it is going to be better for her. And she may be frustrated, and then if she asks, hey, can you help me? I don't know how to do this. Can you help me? Of course, you know. But for me to just jump in and take over is going to be too much. And so I feel like there's kind of, there's a need for movement in you. I feel like the 4 gets much heavier with the 8. And we start to feel like, okay, you know, it's that feeling when you stayed in bed too long and you get this weird feeling like, I don't want to be in bed anymore, you know? Or it's the feeling when you spend too long in your pajamas, you know? And I know, but I said, what? Yeah, sometimes, you know, we get that feeling of, I need to do so. I need to take a shower. I need to change my clothes. I need to go outside and do something. I need to get to work on something, you know? And I kind of feel like this is what's going on right now. So I don't know if you've been dealing with a medical thing, if it's an emotional thing that you've been going through. I kind of feel as if with this universe card behind you, that maybe there was I feel like there's sort of a new feeling of loneliness or isolation that came about in your life. And I don't know if your living situation changed or if your work situation changed, or maybe it's been this sort of growing feeling of the universe as a kind of cold, dark, lonely, and indifferent place. Okay? Because I kind of feel like there was a long period of time in your life or it's sort of been growing, you know, it's been extending out in time. This feeling of sort of isolation, right, of needing connections. And so it really could be, you know, maybe you've been sick and you've just kind of been away from the world for a while, you know. And I think it's kind of time, and maybe you've been in a sort of kind of a voluntary retreat or a voluntary temporary retirement. Maybe you've been dealing with some other issues, health issues, family issues. But I feel like it's time now for you to reemerge into the world, right? It's time for us to then kind of shake off all this water energy. Because see, the Eight of Cups, it's kind of like the water's draining. That this situation it was comforting, it was feeling good, now it just kind of feels like it's icky. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you've been in your pajamas too long. And it's like, I just want to change my clothes. Yeah. And so I think that's kind of what's going on. And you got this 10 of Wands underneath you. This, to me, seems like full tank of gas. It feels like batteries fully charged up, ready to go. Okay? And I think this is probably why you're feeling a little bit of that Eight of Cups. Because you've got all this energy stored up inside of you. It's like you're well rested now. It's kind of like, you know, your body needs whatever, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep, whatever it is. But you get any more than that, and something starts to happen inside of us. We get that kind of feeling, that Eight of Cups icky feeling. I got to get out of bed, right? And of course, with the universe card and this, I feel like very often we force ourselves to stay in bed, even past that point of like, I don't need to, I want to get out of bed. But no, we force ourselves to stay there because a lot of reasons. Okay, we don't need to go into those reasons. They're going to be different for all of you. Okay, I'm still dealing with a little bit of a cough, so excuse me if I hit the cough button every now and again. The Ten of Wands, like I said, is this full charged battery, and we know that, okay, the battery's full. It's time to take it off the charger and use it, you know. The gas, you know, we've filled up the car with gas. It's time to go. It's time to do something with this energy. I can't help but wonder if there's been some sort of a breakup or some sort of a separation or some kind of a change. I feel like you and another group kind of went like this. There's distance now, you know? And it could be that the partner that you had or the job that you had or the world that you knew, right, has changed in some way. And that's been a little bit of this Four of Cups now, Eight of Cups kind of thing, and it's just time to get back to living, you know. This card sometimes is talking about the help that we feel or the partnership that we're in. So it looks like two against the world here. And maybe it has been two against the world. Maybe it's not anymore. So, you know, there's a question here of how things are going to be different now, okay? And it could be that there is, because I do think there's a lot of major arcana here. I think there's something very significant that you're supposed to do in life, okay? And it's like all the spirits are here around you saying, hey, are you ready? It's time we go now. We got to get to this, right? We gotta get you to the stage kind of thing, you know? And so I feel like there really is this fortune and fame kind of vibe here where it's just like, you know, it's, you know, the manager or the promoter is trying to get you out of the dressing room. You know, like, come on, it's time, you got to go out here and perform, you got to go out and do this thing, you know. The world's not going to wait forever kind of thing, right? So I feel that going through this doorway is kind of like leaving all of this old energy behind and taking that step into the future and, you know, making these decisions. First of all, the small decisions of the things that we don't need anymore because they're sort of weighing us down. They're keeping us in this hyper comfortable place, this overly comfortable place, and we don't need those things anymore. So those little decisions in that moment to moment discernment, right? This is also taking that big step that's saying, okay, I'm going out on stage. I see the light in this doorway, and it's kind of like, you know, you're looking at the door to the stage, and all you see is like the bright lights shining through the doorway, and you hear the roar of the crowd, and you're saying, I'm going through that door, right? And it could seem like quite a scary thing, right? It's going to be difficult to sort of transition ourselves from this kind of, I don't know, a homebody kind of energy or being in our pajamas in bed all day to then sort of being out in the world and performing this, living this life that you're meant to live, you know. So we're going through the doorway, and you're putting yourself in a pressure cooker. You're putting yourself in a situation where you're going to be challenged, where you're going to have to respond and react and adapt to the world around you, okay? And we got a lot of these doorway kind of cards, right? We've got the Moon, which is a doorway. We've got the Eon, which is a doorway. Of course, we have the Fool, which is a card of, you know, freedom and transcendence. And, you know, I think this is really, your life's changing forever. It really, truly is going through this doorway. You're taking a big chance, and maybe you've been sort of, you know, it's kind of like I feel like we're at home, we're in bed, because we're scared of making this really big move in life. This really big change, really big shift. We're kind of, we know we're going to have to go into the pressure cooker, but we just don't want to. Just give me a few more days here, and then I'll be ready. You know, I think Spirit's saying, you're ready. And this is going to change you. It is going to refine you. It is going to create in you the diamond. It's going to, all the pressure here, right? All the fiery energy. Both these cards, very fiery cards. It's going to burn away everything that is not essential to you and reveal underneath this shining diamond that you are, right? I think you're doing something that is, I think you're doing something that is very high stakes, very high pressure. And I think it really is like, I feel like it's something big. I feel like there's a lot riding on this. I feel like this is a really kind of, big job, big career, big kind of, a big shift for you. Okay? And I think that it has to do with your skill and your talent in some way. It has to do with kind of your gift, what you're sort of meant to do in life and what you're good at. And now it's just kind of, we're taking it to the next level. We're ready to kind of go out and do this. And maybe the art card, temperance card, is about paying our dues in some way. In other words, we're going to have to go out and do this thing. We're going to have to work hard to get really, really good at it and really kind of achieve that fortune and fame, right? It's not something that's being handed to us. It's going to take a lot of work, right? And it's just kind of getting out of bed and getting dressed and saying, okay, let's begin that today. The longer we dwell in this energy, because see, this is inertia. This is not moving. This is just kind of the longer we stay there, the more difficult it is for us to get out of bed. The sooner we begin, the sooner we will achieve, the sooner we'll start really making progress. And now as we go to the path of the serpent, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free, doesn't cost anything. It supports the channel, and I appreciate that. Okay, so your general energy is this Knight of Swords. This is very, this is kind of, this is like a will and a mind that just sort of wake up and run. It's like you hit the ground running, And I feel like this is not allowing ourselves enough time to get bogged down by that water energy right there in the middle, By sort of committing ourselves mentally and spiritually, and then just making the feet do the work, taking the steps, right? We're not even really thinking twice about it. This is very quick decision making, okay? I think that once we have the impulse, have the intentions, like once we're out of bed and we feel how cold it is in the apartment or whatever, well, then it's kind of like, well, just keep moving. Don't turn around and get back in bed. Keep that forward momentum, keep it going into the future that we have, into the activities, into this work, right? I think that you're someone who has you have a very sharp intellect, I think that you're very intelligent, and I think that you know the power of your own mind. And it's just really a matter of, again, with that Eight of Cups, kind of getting out of bed and doing it, But once you get the ball rolling, I think things become much easier. I think you begin to feel the joy and the freedom and the power in your moment-to-moment existence, being in control, being fine. It's kind of like when you're in bed and you don't want to get out of bed and you kind of feel like, I don't want to get up, it's going to suck, right? In bed is where it's at. But once we get out of bed and we start moving, we think, oh gosh, I can't believe I stayed in bed so long. This feels good to be up and moving around and doing stuff, getting your coffee and whatever, feeding the cats. It feels good to be up and moving, right? Now, the environment has a little bit of mystery to it, right? And this is in terms of your relationships. This is the Moon card, okay? And it's a card that sort of represents the waning moon, waning all the way down to a new moon kind of darkness energy. So it sort of is, in a way, it's one thing that sort of keeps us in the water energy here, because we just feel like it's cold outside. It's dark outside. I don't know. I don't want to go out there and have to face all these unknown factors. Okay? In some ways, it feels like I don't want to go outside and have to meet new people. I don't want to have to go and, it feels like we're kind of a stranger out here. Okay? And of course, that kind of speaks to our universe card again, too. We sort of view the universe as this cold, lonely, and indifferent place. And then we're sort of saying, well, okay, I don't want to go outside and do this. I don't want to get into the pressure cooker, right? Because I'm going to have to meet new people. I'm going to have to figure things out. It's just, I don't know anybody here. It's like we don't want to start that job because, well, I don't know my way around. I don't know where the bathroom is. I don't know where the cafeteria is. I don't know any of the people, right? And so we kind of are looking at the world as a little bit scary or dismal even, right? Now it's kind of gone from being indifferent to being potentially hostile. This is a dark, scary forest. We don't know what's out here, right? But I think that in here you're going to experience a lot more joy and happiness than you think. See, there's a sun at the bottom of that card, and it's kind of saying that once we get out there and start doing this, things are going to light up. Things are going to become more familiar. We're going to make connections. We're going to find our friends. You're going to get familiar with the floor plan and the layout. You're going to get comfortable with the people there and the work that you're doing. But looking at it from outside, it's kind of like, I don't think I really want to go out there. It's kind of when you're in your bed in the warm covers, and you look out at your hallway and you think, it's cold and dark in that hallway. I don't want to go out there. I want to stay here where it's warm, comfortable, familiar. Right? A 4 to that 8 of cups. But this fiery energy in you, I think, is compelling you. And this is really that full tank of gas, that full battery that's saying, like, you better get up and use this energy now, It's kind of propelling you out of bed. Now, we don't see a lot of other swords cards here, do we? We have our Knight of Swords, which is kind of referencing this idea of, just sort of impulsively doing it. Just saying, okay, I'm doing it. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go. The longer we linger and think about it, the more we sort of feel the warmth of the blankets, then we're sort of invoking more swords cards and we're thinking, I can maybe snooze for another hour. Maybe I'll wait another day or two before I go and do it. So it really is just acting as quickly as we can so that we don't get into the overthinking and then we're feeling those feelings too much. We're feeling the comfort too much, right? It's kind of like we just need to, in one act of willpower, throw the blankets off of us and stand up and walk to the living room, And that's the only way to do it. If we pause or hesitate, oh, it's warm here. Oh, I can stay a few more minutes, right? And trust me, this is my life every morning. I get up at 5:30 every morning to come into the studio and film these readings. And every morning, it's my alarm goes off, and I just think, it's so warm and cozy in this bed. And I say, nope, I'm up, I'm walking. I don't even have time to think, it's cold, and oh gosh, I don't want to do this. It's still dark outside. The house is cold, and, I didn't get enough sleep. I was up late reading last night, and all these things, right? If we don't give ourselves time to think that, those thoughts quickly leave, and we end up, we're up, we're doing our thing, we're getting our water, we're having our coffee, and we're doing it. But I think in the environment, in terms of your relationships, you're going to be making new ones, okay? And it's daunting to make new relationships, to make new friends, to get to know your coworkers or whoever, whatever you're doing, right? This isn't about what you're doing. It's about how you're doing it and why you're doing it, okay? But you're going to meet new people. And it may seem an unfamiliar landscape right now. Once you get there and you start doing it, you're going to make new friends. You're going to find people that you really vibe with, and it's going to become familiar. Okay? It seems like a cold, dark place. It's going to be very warm and inviting. But you've got to go and you've got to bring your best self to that. Okay? Whatever this might be. Maybe you're starting a new job. Maybe this is you kind of putting yourself out there in a new career or a new creative endeavor, right? Maybe you're, I don't know, maybe you're a performer. Maybe you're an artist, a musician, a writer, an actor, a comic, whatever you're doing. Maybe you're a business person. Maybe this is kind of like getting back to doing what you do. Getting back to work, you know. And we see that this intuition is here too in the High Priestess. Now, if the moon card is a waning moon to a new moon, the High Priestess is a waxing moon to a full moon, right? And that really, the full moon then is the reflection of the starlight. So it feels like once you start doing this work, and that's really the obstacle, is just getting through this doorway. Let's do a couple of doorway oracle cards. Getting through the doorway. Secret sketches. Wander and seek the familiar and friendly kind. Draw memories in sketches for others to find. See, we're wandering and we're seeking the familiar and friendly in this dark landscape, right? I think that's quite the synchronicity. And once we start doing that, I feel as if your spiritual light is really going to grow and activate. And you're going to feel that your life, your psyche, your consciousness is reflecting the divine light, reflecting the starlight. Okay? Reflecting the light of the sun. And of course, the sun is our own particular star in the company of stars, right? So the difficulty here is to sort of, I think, to trust in your intuition, especially the intuition that is trying to tell you that it is through discipline and this fiery energy and really activating these rocket boosters that you're going to achieve your freedom, whether this is financial freedom, fortune, fame, right? Being that kind of fool. Now we have another doorway over here. It's Anthony's call. In thanks of my spirit safe and sound, all things that are lost so can be found. In other words, all of these comforts that we think we're giving up in life when we have this discipline, we're not giving them up. We're disciplining ourselves so that we can give them up. We're activating our personal power, right? And I'm not swearing off ice cream for the rest of my life. If it was proposed to me that, okay, you can never have ice cream again for the rest of your life, I mean, that'd be bad, right? I don't think I could do it. I'd have to say, no, I'm sorry. Whatever you're selling me, I'm not buying it. But the idea of this personal power and this discipline is saying that I'm choosing to use my power. I'm choosing when I can and cannot have ice cream. No one else is telling me. I'm telling me. I'm controlling my psyche, my internal environment, my will, my consciousness, my thoughts and feelings, right? I'm controlling those to say when I can and cannot have the ice cream or the comfort or whatever those indulgences are. They're not lost forever, right? They will always be there. And the more I have this discipline and this power to choose, well, then on Saturdays, I can choose to have ice cream. And then on Sunday and Monday, I can choose not to have it. It's in my power now because you're becoming the master of your consciousness. You're becoming the magician, right? And the magician is it's the next step for the fool. Card 0, card 1. It's the first thing. And the fool is the one that is free from all encumbrances, free from all hindrances, free from really any sort of temptation. But the fool is still not in control. The fool is not the master of anything. The fool is like the blank slate. And it's almost as if the fool says, hey, I kind of want ice cream. I'm going to have some ice cream. The fool says, hey, I kind of want, to go I kind of want to stay in bed all day. I'm going to stay in bed all day, right? What is driving this fool? I think it's really just the winds, right? This is a pure air energy. It's just going wherever the wind blows. The winds of our biological necessities, right? Our genetic programming, our internal desires and needs, and then also the societal things that are coming in that are kind of offering us things and saying, hey, you want to come over here and have this ice cream? Look at all these flavors we have. And the fool says, heck yeah, right? And that's sort of the way the fool lives. But with a little bit of discipline, this fool is now free from all of those things, free from the, it's like we are, with our consciousness controlled, mastered. As the fool evolves into the magician, now we can override what our genetic code is telling us, to a certain extent anyway. Now, I'm no biologist or whatever. We can override that. We can kind of say, no, I'm not going to follow that impulse or that desire or that, that sort of biological, need that my body is telling me or my heart is telling me I need right now or I want right now. And I can also pick and choose what things that society is offering me. And I can say, no, I don't, no thank you. Thanks but no thanks, right? And now the fool is free from that, to a certain degree anyway. It's never perfect, but we strive for that kind of freedom, right? Freedom to choose with the most autonomy that we can, with the most mastery that we can over our own consciousness, our own thoughts and feelings, right? Where we're putting our attention. And I feel like this high priestess is a very important card for you. You got to trust in your intuition here. You got to trust in that divine energy, because otherwise, I think we're kind of we're falling back on the mental and emotional desires and needs and beliefs and values, right? That are going to lead us into certain, well, I think going to keep us over here. Whereas the intuition is trying to show us, the spiritual guide, right, is trying to show us the way to freedom. And we think, well, maybe staying in bed all day, well, that's freedom. I don't have to get up and go to work, right? But freedom really is in our ability to choose, to our ability to exercise our own autonomy, right? Now let's look at this mystery card. I really do feel like you're on the brink of something really, really major. We're getting up out of bed and we're going to go do it. And both of these doorways, I think it really is, it's going to be a big, big shift. I don't think your life is going to be the same after this. I think you are going to achieve a certain degree of fortune and fame. Now, maybe not celebrity. Maybe that's not what we mean by fame, But I feel like you're really, you're excelling. Whatever the work is that you're doing, you're getting to the very top of that field, right? I think you're well known in that way, right? Let's see what our mystery card is. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. I expect some earth energy. Oh, a Six of Cups. Well, even better. The Six of Cups is the resonance and the harmony that you're experiencing in the moment-to-moment existence, right? For one, it's saying that you're going to meet the relationships. You're going to meet the friends. Those things, the familiar and the friendly, you're going to find it. Okay? In this dark, scary forest of this moon card, you're going to find your friends and family and your familiars. Okay? But this is also the card of harmony and resonance in our daily life. In the process of this work, in the process of our disciplined life, right? We're finding joy in this process, right? And we're finding freedom even, right? We're finding resonance and connection. Why? Well, because you have the power to direct your life. You're the magician. You have the power to create your own reality. And for that, we have to have discipline. We have to control our minds. And we have to control our mind really to override this water energy here. Okay. The comforts or the feelings or, whatever you want to call them. And so the Six of Cups really is this sense of peak experience. It's a sense of community, right? This is the sense of, every moment we can have this very exhilarating experience of life. Every moment can be a peak experience, I think this is really, really beautiful. We're sacrificing this comfort or luxury for true pleasure. That's the key word for the Six of Cups, pleasure, right? Making memories. These are landmark experiences in your life, that you will never forget, right? The best days of your life. And we can have, every day can be the best day of our lives. So I think this is really Spirit's way of calling you to action and saying it's time to get up and do this work that you've been, feels kind of putting off for a while, if I could say that, So let's do it. Yeah. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Leo are on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It's totally free, doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.